And ISIS has struck again. This time, the extremist group released a gruesome video showing the mass beheadings of nearly 24 Egyptian Coptic Christians it had held hostage for weeks. Mark Martin has the story.
Egyptian warplanes struck ISIS targets in Libya Monday, just hours after the extremist group released the horrific video showing a mass beheading of 21 Christian hostages. The Egyptian government and the Coptic Church both say it's authentic. The militants claim loyalty to ISIS and identify themselves as the Tripoli province of the Islamic State group. The killings raise concerns the Islamic militant group, which controls about a third of Syria and Iraq, has established a direct affiliate in North Africa, less than 500 miles from the southern tip of Italy. One of the militants in the video, speaking English, makes direct reference to that possibility, saying the group now plans to, quote, conquer Rome. Relatives and friends of the hostages say they were targeted because they were Christians and voted for Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, a former army chief. Abanub Ishaq is a colleague of the Egyptian Coptic Christian hostages in Libya. He said they are targeting us because we voted for el-Sisi and because we are Christians. In Libya, they say that the Christians are the sons of el-Sisi and are targeting us for that matter. If only Christians voted for el-Sisi, he wouldn't have won the elections. Egyptian President el-Sisi declared, Egypt reserves the right to respond at the proper time and in the appropriate style in retaliation for those inhuman criminal killers. This latest ISIS atrocity comes as Congress debates President Obama's war powers request to take on ISIS, with many Republicans saying the president's move is not strong enough to truly battle ISIS, which is expanding its influence beyond Iraq and Syria. And the former Obama defense secretary warned that ISIS is a threat beyond the Middle East.
We're dealing with an enemy that has strong command and control, and we're dealing with an enemy that is well armed. ISIS is a whole new chapter in terms of the terrorist threat to that area and to our country.
Mark Martin, CBN News.
Joining us now to discuss the growing threat of terrorist organizations like ISIS is CBN News senior international correspondent George Thomas, who is in Nigeria. George, in what ways is ISIS expanding its reach?
Ephraim, great to be on your show. Listen, yesterday's attack is just clear evidence that the terror group's is growing. Its international footprint is going beyond just the Syrian as well as the Iraqi borders. You know, like ISIS, like Al-Qaeda, Al-Shabaab in Somalia, Boko Haram in Nigeria, the Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb, these groups find locations, ungoverned, undergoverned areas, and that's where they thrive, where there is no government control, no army, no police. And so in countries like Libya, Syria, Iraq, and now emerging Yemen, terror groups just thrive. And so Libya is just a perfect example and a perfect place for such groups like ISIS to thrive.
Well, right now you are in Nigeria, where, as you mentioned, Christians are being targeted by Boko Haram militants. Just yesterday, a teenage suicide bomber killed more than 16 people. Can you tell us more about the situation there where you are in Nigeria?
Yeah, the election has been postponed to March 28th, and the president has basically said that in the next few weeks there's going to be a major push by the Nigerian army. In fact, it's ongoing right now. They're attempting to flush out Boko Haram militants in various pockets of the country, especially in the northeast part of the country. And so there's an aggressive push by the Nigerian government. Whether they're able to completely crack down on the group between now and March 28th, is anybody's guess. But people are expecting, either way, people are expecting violence, whether Goodluck wins, President Goodluck wins, or whether Mr. Buhari ends up winning the presidency.
Wow. What are some specific things our viewers should be praying for right now? For a free and fair election. Pray for a free and fair election. There would be no violence. It's intense. You'll have to remember what happened back in 2011 after Nigeria held that election. It was an awful, bloody violence right after the election. And so
churches are praying, people are praying, believers that I've met are just praying that there would be complete peace across the country. But it has to be free and it has to be fair.